Indonesia. Distinguished guests, students, colleagues and members of the SMU community, good afternoon and welcome to this Presidential Distinguished Lecture Series. Last year at the previous SMU Presidential Distinguished Lecture Series, Associate Professor Dan Bresnes from the Georgia Institute of Technology in the USA spoke about government, innovation, globalization and economic growth in China. It therefore seems appropriate that today we will learn more about another powerful and rapidly growing economy, but one that is sometimes a little bit overlooked, the Republic of Indonesia. And it is against this backdrop that I'm delighted that we have invited here today a man that is charged with powering a thriving Indonesia ahead in the foreseeable future, and that we have been able to convince him to share with us his insights and wisdom with everyone here seated in this auditorium, and actually in the overflow rooms. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, can I ask you to join me in showing your appreciation to His Excellency Kita Wirjawan, Minister of Trade, the Republic of Indonesia, for having accepted this invitation. This Presidential Distinguished Lecture Series is an occasion for me as President of this university to invite international, eminent and outstanding academics, scholars, or business or government leaders who have achieved its distinction in their respective fields to share with us some of their insights. My purpose is to stimulate intellectual discourse here among our SMU students, and I'm very happy to see quite a few of them here, our faculty and our staff and our friends of SMU, to have that intellectual discourse about matters of interest and issues of significance. I'm actually very pleased to share that with Minister Wirjawan has given this well-received series a perfect 10 today, because this is the 10th speaker, or he is the 10th speaker to grace the Presidential Lecture Series since its inception in 2005. Now, I'm very happy that we, as I said, that after having spoken about China, that this time we talk about Indonesia, because Indonesia is a country that hosts incredible biological, ethnic and economic diversity. It is now the world's third most populous democracy with a population of nearly 40 million. It's the world's largest archipelago state with many thousands of islands. I always see different numbers, so I hesitate to say which number it actually is, but it's above 10,000, above 13,000. And it's home to the world's largest Muslim population. With a GDP of over $500 billion in 2009, Indonesia was the third fastest growing economy in Asia, and also Asia's largest economy, Southeast Asia's largest economy. As one of the few emerging markets to boast vast natural resources and a consumer-driven economy, with its domestic consumption contributing to more than 60% of its GDP, Indonesia has remained relatively unaffected by the global financial crisis in late 2008, and has maintained an impressive 6.5% growth in 2011. Its economy continued to fare well last year and had posted a robust growth of nearly 6.3% despite the global economic turbulence. Over the last years, we have talked a lot about BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India and China. And these countries have fired the imaginations of investors over the world for more than a decade. But the latest acronym that is catching attention now is MIST, which stands for Mexico, Indonesia, South Korea and Turkey. Investment bank Goldman Sachs has assessed these four countries to have the greatest economic potential this century. Apart from South Korea, three of these four MIST countries, Indonesia included, share the key features of having large, young populations with fast rising incomes. We here at Singapore can't compare to Indonesia. We're a small country right on Indonesia's doorstep. I am convinced that as a university, but also Singapore as a whole, we definitely have to pay greater interest to our big neighbors. Indeed, many questions arise in our minds here in Singapore. How can Singapore businesses venture into this market of tremendous potential? After all, Singapore is able to offer many technical know-how services and expertise that Indonesia needs. What are Indonesia's strategies for sustaining growth and for trade development? What are some of the new measures that it plans to introduce to reduce regulation uncertainty for foreign investors? Also, as Indonesia approaches the 2014 elections, Will policymakers, as they sometimes do in other countries, lose focus? Will the government have the resolve to make economic decisions that might be unpopular but necessary should the global business climate worsen? There's probably no one better placed or qualified to address these concerns than our distinguished speaker here today. Pak Gita Wirjawan has been the Indonesian Minister of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia since October 2011. Prior to this appointment, he was the chairman of Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board, the major interface between the Indonesian government and the nation's business sector. Before that, as an investment banker, he worked for JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs in Southeast Asia and founded as well as served as the chairman of Ancora Capital, a Jakarta-based private equity fund. And he just told us before we came in that he started as an accountant, which for our students here in this room, or some of our students in this room, means there's a future. Mr. Wirjawan's success was built upon the firm foundations of an excellent education at the University of Texas as well as Baylor University in Texas, leading to a Master in Public Administration degree from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together to warmly welcome Mr. Gita Wirjawan. Thank you.